I don't know. This will be a very short morning of a good morning. It is 8 o'clock, and I'm expected to meet a feed truck in about 45 minutes. But it has been so long since I've gotten to you. I'm getting ready in the morning slowly. I've done a few things, and I figured we'd get together. So I do want to say we're still successfully homeschooling. My lighting is still awful in this house. Some things never change. And my ADHD is out of control. Like, really out of control. And I mean, I know I'm going to get back and start talking about this more in depth. But it's hard. And this is a total ADHD homeschool talk about just coping. So we've talked before, and just to remind you, I've got 6 kids. We're homeschooling. One's graduated. We deal with some chronic illness. And we just try to do all the things, right? Like cut the bacon up so I can cook some eggs so I can make it into a breakfast burrito. Well, yep, the ADHD's going. I gotta find a knife. Hold on a second. So I've got 6 kids. I got myself. I was ADHD without knowing I was ADHD as a kid. So everything was hard all the time. Just absolutely hard all the time. So I didn't know if it was technically hard or just that everything was hard, so it was hard. Like, that was like probably my main problem growing up. So I just did hard things not knowing if it was genuinely hard or if whatever. So there wasn't medicine back there. I was labeled a dreamer, a procrastinator, somebody who didn't sleep, talkative, interruptive, fun, crazy. Like, those are things that I was told as a kid. And it was like, you're just distracted and you procrastinate. If you just focus and get on task, you wouldn't have all these problems. That's what I heard all the time. And like, I almost got kicked out of college because of it, because I was not doing well, because I couldn't figure it out. And I read things and they don't make sense. So yeah, those were the things. And if you were in that journey with me, I was just so frustrated. I bought Bob Jones for the kids. Some of my kids got started on it, like the videos immediately, and then didn't. And we had a lot of chaos going on. And so I don't know what happened, but somebody said ADHD to me. Maybe. And from there, I went and looked up like 50 things like ADHD people do. And I went through that and I was like, and I was looking at this going, is this my kids? Is this my kid? And as I was doing that, I was like, this is me. 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 So anyways, that's how I kind of figured out, like, oh my goodness. And it was such revealing because it was so, I'm not going to speak good grammar today. So much better, so more better. I can't figure out the word today. It was just so relieving to realize I wasn't the problem. Or you know what I mean? Like, I'm not dumb. Because I knew I wasn't dumb, but I'm not high functioning at all. Gifted, yes, not high functioning. I don't dare show you my house. I'll show you a little bit. But my house is the evidence of ADHD gone wild. And I thought it was because I was a bad housekeeper. I just literally keep starting new projects and I forget the ones I'm already working on immediately. Like, I just forget everything. So anyway, some of y'all are going to be like, the squirrels are loose. I grew up without help. I grew up without naming it. I grew up without acknowledging it. I grew up without help. And for me to be a successful person, I either was going to fail or I was going to figure out how to cope with my ADHD. That's what it was like being Generation X. That's what it was like growing up in the 80s. That's what it was like growing up in the 90s. If I could keep my head low, be quiet, but I couldn't figure out what was going on in class. I love video learning so much because I can stop it and replay it when I realize I wasn't listening. And I don't listen all the time. I don't even realize I'm not listening. I could be looking and my kid will say, "Hey, Mom." And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Okay. Wait, what? What did you just say?" I'm looking at them. Good morning. Good morning, Pink Dreamer. Yeah, I'm like literally like, "What did you just say?" I have like no idea what you just said. And so then I'm like, "Please repeat that." And they get so mad because I'm like, "Huh? Huh? Huh?" I don't like, I don't even hear things like it, don't acknowledge. So I love online learning or video learning because I can stop it, replay it because I check out. Reading is hard. I like to read things when I really already know the content, but I want to be introduced with it by video. Not always in person, because in person, when I'm watching somebody in person, say I was looking at myself right now, right? And I was in person. I would notice the lighting. I would notice the wall art. I would notice how her hair is being set. I would notice the jacket. I would notice everything but what she had to say and what she was in her. That's just me. The only way I can engage is if I'm dialoguing with the person, which means I sound like I'm overtaking the entire presentation, which makes me look like a hole. And I know that, but it's like I also know like that's what I have to do to be engaged, is I have to conversate with the person lecturing. So you can tell it wasn't a great time in college because they thought I was a hole, and I didn't mean to be, but that's how I engaged. So I liked graduate school better because guess what? That was nothing but conversation. So it worked out really good. So if I watch video, I do a lot better because it's flat. It's, 2D. It's just 2D. And I don't notice all the other stuff. And sometimes I don't even watch. I just listen. Like, you're so ADHD. I listen on like ×2 speed. Does anybody do that? Like, I literally speed. And if you talk too slow, just forget it. My brain is like clicked out. So, point being, my kids obviously have ADHD issues. My oldest son almost looks like a degenerate flunk out when he takes classes with people because of his ADHD. He doesn't want to take meds. I've tried a couple. I tried two. I don't remember the first one, but the doctor was just like, "Hey, just watch within 2 weeks. They do have a tendency, some kids get suicidal." And I was like, okay. 48 hours later, the kid could have pulled the plaster off the wall or the drywall off the wall. He just wanted to dig his fingers in and he looked at me. He's like, "I don't want to take that stuff. I don't like this. There's a monster." And I was like, "Oh yeah, do not take that again." And then we did Ritalin. I don't know if any of y'all had experiences with Ritalin, or the generic version of Ritalin, because we ain't that bougie. So they did Ritalin, but it put my kids to sleep. So if sorry, I'm so sorry. I was reading April's. I do that with my kids all the time. I'll put them on restriction to discipline them, but then I forget I've done it. I can't. I have been successful, I will say. One of my kids got in trouble and really just needing a heart change issue and some phone addiction issues. And so we took that child. I'm not naming names because that's not fair. My kids get kind of like, "Mom, you've been sharing us for 10 years. I've been sharing their life for 10 years. A little off and on here lately, but mostly because they're just like, "Mom," and I don't know. Anyway, So I gotta crack eggs. So she sorry, I'm trying to do this the best I can, but it's just what it is. She had, I gotta go into my messy room. I got kids coming. Got to detox for a month without a phone. No phone. I mean, there's like blocks of like 3 hours a day on the phone, on apps and stuff like that. And I'm like, I can't. Anyway, so we took the phone away for a month, mind you. But then it's aggravating because I need to get a hold of him for some stuff. He, she, whatever. And, so we gave him a flip phone. So this person has the flip phone for another month. And so they did 2 months. And then, but what's funny is from that situation, that person's ADHD symptoms have softened, would be the best way to say it, have softened. And they have softened. And then the addiction is gone, like it wasn't before. The addiction is gone. So that is like phenomenal. And then, anyways, I don't know. I left the room, so I've like lost my whatever. So anyways, that kid gets their phone back, their Apple phone back after 2 months. But it really did a good job. Oh, so it softened. So he got bored and took up skateboarding, which never would he have done. So I think it has accomplished its task. We just got to ride out, to the completeness it's accomplished its task of heart discipline issues and ADHD, maybe. I don't know. Sorry, I really got confused. I really didn't want to YouTube in front of my kids because they get mad and they're waking up finally. But so anyways, what I really wanted to talk to you about this is the fact that like I realized, like, if this kid wants to go to college, I'm like, are you sure you want to go to college? This kid needs meds and finding the right meds, and it's just not been good. But in this whole time, I've not taken meds. So as much as I'm like debunked the social, oh great, I got bras in the background, the social stigma. So like for my kids, there's no social stigma with ADHD. We all have ADHD. It's obvious. Sometimes we're banging like ping pong table balls off each other with our ADHD issues. So like it's normalized. But I realize, like, as much as it's normalized, and I don't mind being known for my ADHD because it's pretty obvious I have it, I don't feel, one, warranted enough, or two, I really want to talk with my hands. I can't do this. Two, like I don't feel warranted enough, and two, the stigma comes back to get help. Like, why should I get help? I've been doing it so far. Everything's hard, yes, and constantly, like, whatever. And I hit my breaking point to get help because perimenopause is awful. It is like horrendous. In the last year and a half, I can't win the ADHD war. All of my coping skills don't work anymore. If you looked at my house, I'm not going to show it to you. It's so stinking bad. And I'm stressed, and I got cortisol with lots of things going on. Like 2024 has been a gut punch like every couple of days. I just realized, like, it's time to go get help. Yeah, it's time to go get help. So I did. I started medication. I'm on day 2. Berberine, something like that. I don't know. Because my brain doesn't hold that stuff. I'm like, I don't know. But it's also, I feel warranted, like, if my kids are going to need to be on ADHD to overcome because they don't have the coping skills I do. And I don't even think, listen, I'm all about going back 1990 and raising kids in the 1990s. But I don't think you can do that in everything. Because there's influences now that the 90s raising and all that can't overcome, if that makes sense. And, you know, and like my ADHD plays off like insecurities, like like wanting to just the hoarding. I don't know. I don't want to get too far into it because I do have to go. But yay, I mean, day 2. Well, I just took the pill, so it's day 1. It's day 1. I mean, like, I don't know how fast it's going to work because I guess it's also like an antidepressant, anti-anxiety that's used for like not smoking and like all this other stuff, and they use it for ADHD. And the doctor said that they've had a lot of success with it with ADHD. But then with everything that's going on, I'm like, oh, that might not be a bad thing, you know, to have that little extra oomph in there. But I will say, I don't know if your ADHD does this, but I tend to wander around the store, you know. I tend to wander around the store, like I get what I need, then I just keep walking, so then I purchase more items than I intend to because I'm just walking around the store. I told you yesterday, I ended up going into a Walmart twice. I went to like 4 or 5 stores. I went to Bell's Outlet, Dollar Tree, Western Clothes Store, Walmart again. Like 5 stores. And the impressive part was I didn't look. Like, instead of going in to get the things I want to get, I go in to look to see if there's things there I should get, which is not good financially to do at all. So that was like really impressive. Like, that was like a really like aha. So I don't know, I mean, shoot, within a couple of hours of taking it, I mean, I know it has to accrue, so I don't know if that was just a good self-discipline day or that helped. Who knows, but let's own it. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that my house won't feel like a sinking shipwreck, you know? Like, literally a sinking shipwreck. I'd have coffee with you today, but I burnt my coffee and it tastes disgusting. I poured it out. And I really shouldn't be getting it because I don't know if you can hear, but that GERD cough is like wanting to come back because I've been drinking coffee. And then there's a lot to do today. So anyways, that's just me checking in. I think it's ADHD reason why I don't YouTube as much. I want to YouTube, but then here lately, and I don't know if it's the perimenopause, if it's life stress, when I used to have like so many clear things I wanted to tell you about and directive, I don't have that anymore. I really don't. And I don't like that because I miss those topics to talk to you about. You know, and I don't know if it's just because some of life has just become mundane or not. I don't know. And maybe I'm just not in the habit of talking to you, so I've forgotten all the things to talk to you about. But don't think I don't think of you. I mean, I've been in this 10 years. 10 years. So, I mean, obviously, maybe not 10 years, 9 years. Obviously, I do think about you. It's just life's so busy, and then I overwhelm myself, and it's ADHD, toxic insecurities of my childhood or something. I'm busy trying to like break the generational curses of my life into my children. And sometimes that gets a bit overwhelming while still doing laundry and getting dishes done. you know, and it's like, I feel like it's a battle I can't win. So anyways, I'm going to let you go because the feed man's going to be calling me to go pick up my half ton of feed for all these animals that we have. I got a really pretty chicken. I think I need to post it on here on a reel because you guys will die. He's so cute. He's so absolutely cute. All right, so I love y'all so much. Thanks for coming and having a quick morning with me. And I will maybe not wait so long and talk to you soon. Until then, love you. Peace out. I know I used to say that all the time.